you can go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, first and foremost, can Armanino come to mini golf? That sounds like so much fun. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Molly Sevant. I am the senior campus recruiter here in Southern California for Armanino. And with myself today, I have three professionals from two from tax and one in audit. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you guys all had a wonderful spring break. I know it is really tough to try to get back into the hang of things, especially on a very dreary and rainy day today. But again, thank you so much for coming. We're going to be talking about unique opportunities and challenges in public accounting. So that's a little bit of background on myself. I have been in recruiting now for about 7 years. I worked in all different types of recruiting, mainly in the finance and accounting space. Charry, I'm going to have you go ahead and start first. If you could just introduce yourself, your name, your service line, your professional background a bit, how you got to Armanino, and one fun fact, and actually let me talk about my fun fact. My fun fact and how I got to Armanino. I family friend that is a partner here. I was moving back from New York and wanted to come back to California, where I'm originally from, and said that Armanino, was a great cultural fit. That was something that I was looking for, and I wanted to get back into campus recruiting. One fun fact about myself that no one knows is I did Irish dancing for 7 years. Do I still do it? No. Charry, I'm going to go ahead and pass it along to you.
My name is Charry Camposagrado. I'm a tax associate for Armanino, and it's my second year this year. How I got into Armanino is through CSUN recruiting. I did a lot of recruiting my last year, which it was kind of last minute, but I think I joined Armanino because of all the people I interviewed with, and I felt like I got along with most of them more. And one fun fact about me is, not sure if you guys saw earlier, but I love pugs. I love my dogs, and I treat them like my babies. So those are my babies.
Thank you so much for sharing. Jonathan, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Montoya. I'm a tax supervising senior. I've been with Armanino for about 4.5 years. And the way I got into Armanino was I went to CSUN and I attended, well, I was a director for Accounting Association, and I attended one of the resume workshops, and I met someone from Armanino through there. And then after that, I just kept going to all the recruiting events and meeting with Armanino, every single one of them. And it just seemed to be the right fit. So that's how I ended up here. And one fun fact about me is that I'm colorblind. So I'm always like trying to figure out ways to identify, what colors are. I'm always asking for help.
Nice. Z, what about you?
Hey, I'm Z. Thanks for the introduction. I'm an audit manager working out of our downtown LA office. I've been with Armanino for about 3 years now. I came actually from another firm and another firm before that. So I moved around a little bit, so that's the reason. And before my public accounting career, I've had about a year in private industry and 5 years in public, so 6 years total. Let's see, I guess, fun fact about myself, I used to be in the boys choir when I was in 6th grade and represented my state that I was, well, city that I was at that time, which is DC. And we went to Europe. So a little tour there.
Oh, that's amazing. How fun. Maybe we'll get you to sing at the end of this for us.
No way.
Well, we're going to dive in here and talk about a little bit of Armanino's history and Armanino at a glance. So we have been around since the early 50s, so about 70 years now. And we actually started as a mom and pop CPA firm. We've worked our way up to the top 25 firms through a mix of organic and inorganic growth. We are actually classified as a mid-tier firm. We're actually one of the largest California-based CPA firms, CPA and consulting firms. So our headquarters are in the Bay Area in San Ramon. Nationally and internationally, with our Canadian office, we have over 135 partners and over 1,500 employees. And actually, that number is incorrect. We are actually over 2,000 now. So I apologize for that. And we are growing rapidly. We started as an audit and tax firm. And over time, we've added service offerings relevant to our client base, such as consulting, business management, risk assurance and advisory services, more recently, blockchain as well. So the figure on the right side of the slide, it breaks down our total revenue stream by service line. So you can see that we bring the most revenue from tax and consulting, but we still offer other services because we want to be a one-stop shop for all of our clients. So as I mentioned, we have a really strong presence here in California, but we're growing across the entire US. So very rapidly in our Bellevue office, during the pandemic, our CEO, Matt Armanino, he actually moved his family over into Dallas. We have a very large, beautiful office in Dallas as well. So let's take a deeper look at the geographic reach of our services here. So as you can see, this map is a great visual of our geographic reach. So the blue diamonds denote physical offices. The light orange dots represent where our clients are actually located. And the dark orange areas implies our employee presence. So prior to 2015, the Bay Area was the only market that could provide full services to clients. But after some mergers and acquisitions in Southern California and in Dallas, Armanino actually became a national player. So competing with bigger firms, but offering more unique value to our clients. So most recently, we also opened up offices in St. Louis, Chicago, New York, and Austin, Texas. So this is one of the biggest things that I always get asked from students, culture. We're all looking for the right culture fit, but it can be really hard to define. So I think our PVAs, which stand for our purpose, values, and anchors, are a really good illustration of our people and specifically our culture. So the backbone of our culture is our PVAs. So our purpose is to be the most innovative and entrepreneurial firm that makes a positive impact on the lives of our clients, people, and communities. And we really live through our values and our anchors. I'm not going to read them all off to you, but I'm going to point, for me, my favorite one is positive energy. I thrive in an environment when I'm surrounded by positive people, happy mindset, happy life, especially with working in a virtual world and, especially my colleagues, we all sit in different states. And so it's hard sometimes to switch over to that virtual world and, we have to come on these Zoom meetings and being positive, and it brings a lot of energy to our team. So I'm going to ask each of our teammates, starting with Charry, if you want to go first. Which one's your favorite PVA?
For me, sorry, there's like echo.
Okay.
For me, my favorite PBA would be positive energy. So same as you, Molly. I do thrive in positive attitude and spirit as well. And luckily, my team and everybody that I work with in our office are very positive. So it definitely helps during busy season when everyone's just like helping you and pushing you to or help you get things done. And I think that's what helps during busy season too.
Absolutely. Jonathan, what about you?
For me, it's gonna be firm first. I think that's pretty important. Especially like during busy season, it helps for not any one individual to feel overwhelmed. Everyone's always willing to help each other. If you have too much on your plate, everyone's always willing to help and spread out the work, and you never feel like you're stuck and you have to do too much.
Absolutely.
And I think that's definitely important.
Right, definitely. Z, what about you?
I would have to say it'd be an anchor. It'd be innovation. And I think we've seen that word around on the slide a lot. And I think it's truly important that we never stop innovating and leverage technology to our best ability to help us grow as a firm and help us, make life and work easier. So there you go.
Absolutely, I love that. Okay, so this is also a huge part of Armanino. So the Armanino Foundation. So the foundation was actually started by one of our partners who was going to leave the firm to pursue philanthropy full time. But our CEO at the time encouraged her to stay at the firm and start the foundation here. So it has now become a huge part of our culture. And I just want to highlight a few of the awesome things that they do. So for instance, the Great Give. So our offices will shut down for a day. We give back to a nonprofit organization. We get a list of nonprofits to choose from, and many of them are actually our own clients, which I think is so cool. Dollar for Doers is another one. So the foundation will give an hourly rate donation for your time spent volunteering for a certain nonprofit. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Pardon me. Volunteer vacations is another one. So the firm pays for almost all of the expenses for our employees to go on vacations where they also volunteer. I know back in either 2018 or 2019, there was a volunteer vacation in Thailand where people taught English and they volunteered at an elephant sanctuary. Grants. Finally, the foundation gives many grants to nonprofits in need. And I'm actually hoping to get more involved in the grants committee that actually approves these grants. Now let's dive into the unique opportunities and challenges in public accounting. So Charry, do you want to go first and maybe talk about, some of the opportunities to the exposure to multiple industries and businesses?
Yeah, so for me, opportunities definitely like I was exposed to a lot of industries and businesses, and I think I learned so much over my first year, and I'm still learning a lot. And every year tax law changes, and I think a lot of it is very interesting, and every year it's challenging. So I think that's one of the great opportunities. For challenges, it during tax season, it is very busy. I mean, that goes for any public accounting firm.
Right.
Sorry, do you want me to wait?
No, go ahead.
Um, Also, I think one of the challenges for me is I'm still working on it, kind of getting better. Um, this learning how to disconnect from work when I should be logging off. I mean, I
Right.
still think about work when it's busy season, but it is what it is. And also, learning how to work one thing at a time. I tend to try to do everything at once, and I don't get anything done, or it's harder to get things done. But I'm learning to be better at finishing one task at a time.
Thank you for sharing. And Z, can you talk about some of the opportunities of, becoming an industry expert, and then on the opposite for the challenges of the strict deadlines?
Yeah, because you are exposed to so many different industries and businesses, and we want that, we allow you to become an industry expert in one specific thing, a niche, something that you like, your passion. So this is a good thing, and you kind of develop a reputation, your career grows with these opportunities, and just being the best that you can be in that industry. Now, the other side of it, it is strict deadlines, and clients, they need stuff done for a certain reason. Maybe it's a bank that needs the audit done, or what it is. It's a lot of deadlines that you just have to commit to, meaning it could be long hours or certain times of the day, or certain times of the month when the deadline is approaching. It might call for more work, and it's really hard to get around these deadlines. It's actually, once you commit, you kind of stuck there.
Right, definitely. And Jonathan, can you talk about the opportunities, of building a personal network, and again, the challenges of, multiple engagements running at the same time? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, so as far as the opportunities for building a personal network, I think that's a huge opportunity, because you work with a lot of people, even in different offices, and just getting to meet them. And even like during I'm in the culture committee, so we do a lot of events. And during those events, you might talk to people that you usually might not talk to, like throughout your day-to-day activities. And that's pretty cool. You get to meet people from audit, from consulting, and that's important too, because let's say your client, you're doing tax and they need some audit work done, you know someone to reach out to where you can refer them to. And for challenges, multiple engagements running at the same time, it definitely is a challenge because you might have, it goes along with like deadlines. You might have 2 or 3 engagements that are due around the same deadline, but then going back to like the firm first, like let's say you have three deadlines to meet this week, and then your colleague, someone on your team's like, oh, I have a couple of weeks to get this done. Maybe they can jump in and help you meet your deadlines, and then you can jump in on their engagement and help them meet their deadline in the following week.
Right. So being able to spread it out a little bit and helping, I love that too. Charry, do you want to touch on, some of the opportunities of learning valuable professional skills, and then, again, juggling work while you were maybe studying for the CPA, and you touched on this a little bit, with personal time as well and balancing that.
Yeah, for valuable professional skills, I think some of the things that I've learned is definitely, preparing tax returns, learning how to communicate with managers and clients. I'm slowly getting into like client meetings, so that's some things I've learned. Juggling work and personal time. During tax season, it is really hard to juggle work and personal time. Like, I don't have time to cook or clean as much and do other things, but I do plan vacations or things to do after tax season. So that helps me look forward finishing busy season.
Any fun trips this year?
I'm going to Bora Bora.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Z, can you touch on, some of the opportunities that you can almost work anywhere, and then on the challenges of, different personalities and challenging clients? I'm sure you have some stories on that.
Yeah, sure. Again, an opportunity would be remote work. It kind of expanded during the pandemic, and it's here, and it's going to be here for a little bit. So that's definitely an opportunity, especially if you have other commitments outside of work. So it works very well with that. Challenges, your clients and their personalities could be a challenge that could impede me meeting your deadlines, or getting certain tasks done. Especially clients, because a lot of times they could not be ready, and it's on them, but you still have this deadline and this product that you kind of have to deliver. So it's just learning how to work with different personalities, being proactive with your clients, making sure you hold them accountable to certain things that they need to give you so that you could do your job and meet your deadline. Just clear communications right up the front.
Yeah. Jonathan, can you talk about, some of the opportunities of, that you can be a part of an emerging industry and having a flexible career path?
Yeah, definitely. So specifically here at Armanino, like you can be a part, I guess the new emerging industries that we have is like the blockchain, like the cryptocurrency. I know we developed a team, and we're one of the leaders in that industry, and they definitely do encourage you to be a part of that. And also another one would be the cannabis industry. We're definitely one of the leaders in that industry as well, and you can be a part of that and really become an expert, especially like since it's still early. uh Let me see, flexible career paths. So they're definitely flexible, especially since we do have like a lot of niche industries. Like me specifically, I specialize in real estate, and in the beginning you kind of do all types of work and industries, and as you can specialize in one. They definitely encourage you to, you can choose what you want to do pretty much. And if you want to transition into something else, they always they're good about letting you dictate your own career path.
Can you also touch on slightly, the challenges of the different laws and technology, and, just how these best practices are ever evolving? How do you help balance that?
Yeah, so I feel like that's something that happens every year. Every year there's new laws. Every year there's, technology updates. Technology definitely helps automate the workflows, make things faster and easier, especially like as a professional. And as far as the laws, it is challenging because every year the laws are changing, new requirements come up. But I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about public accounting is that it's always something different. It doesn't get boring. You're always learning, you're always improving, and um it definitely is something that, keeps you around if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, exactly.
Charry, can you talk about, the opportunities of being part of a close-knit team?
For me, like my team is very we communicate a lot. We have meetings every twice a week, and we always check up on each other to make sure that we're doing okay, we're not super stressed out, and also we plan dinners or lunch every quarter. And also the managers take all the staff out for lunch or dinner just to make sure we're doing okay or how we feel. And also, I'm also in the Woodland Hills Culture Committee. So I get to talk to a lot of people and, help plan events. So all the people in the Woodland Hills get to go to these fun events, and then we all get to talk and have fun.
Yeah, I know. I see all those emails going out. I need to get over to the Woodland Hills office.
Yes.
There's always a fun rival and between, I feel like each of the offices, this office is better, that office is better.
Woodland Hills is better.
What would you say, Z? Is downtown LA the better office?
Yeah, I think so, by location at least, yeah.
Well, that is all for us today. So I want to open the floor to any questions that you have. Please feel free to get off mute or turn your camera on. Definitely stay connected with us. Connect with us on LinkedIn. Here are all of our emails as well. But any questions you have, please, now is the time to ask. We don't have to go all at once. I know you're really here to ask our questions.
Sorry, everyone's still powering on. I guess in terms of questions, so obviously like accounting, since it's a sort of regulation-based industry, it changes a lot. Does Armanino sort of like have any sessions or like workshops to actively support that kind of thing? Or is it more reliant on the actual like teams and employees themselves to search out these new regulations? Like, I guess, like, what's the scale at which these like new changes are introduced to people?
Yeah, absolutely. Z, do you want to touch on this?
Yeah, sure. As I can speak from an audit perspective, but we have new standards come out every year, and they're constantly being done, and for in perpetuity. And what we do is we train our employees twice a year, during December and during July. We have about a week dedicated to just training, and a lot of these new standards get brought up on top of remedial technical knowledge that we want to reinforce. But new standards is definitely a big topic during the training weeks.
Thank you for sharing. Charry, is it any different for you in tax?
Same thing with tax, like especially beginning of the year, all the new tax laws, we get training. Sometimes 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 we have like a week full of training, and they offer in training as well, and also the managers train us and the seniors, so it does help a lot.
And then I just want to add to that. So on top of like the formal trainings that we do have, we also have like a now team, which is the national office, and there's experts for every, for at least for tax, for like partnerships, corps, international, like all the different industries and all the tax laws that relate to those industries, and they, you know, they do the research, they do the background checks and everything, and then they relay the information to us. And then if we do have more questions on it, we can always reach out to them. So they're always a valuable resource.
Thank you all for sharing.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. See.
Let's see. I think someone was raising. Brett, go ahead.
Hi there. So I'm just curious. So out of all the industries that you're working on, I feel like the blockchain is the most interesting one because it's like it's such a new industry. So I'm just curious that I don't think everyone truly understands the blockchain yet. So it's like, how do you guys like understand it? Like, how do you guys try to fight through it to understand it, especially the tax part of it?
Yeah. Jonathan, do you want to touch on this at all?
Well, since we have like a blockchain team, we usually just defer to them. Yeah, so I don't have too much experience in blockchain, but if you are interested in blockchain and you want to know more about it, we can definitely refer you. I know Noah Flores out of the West LA office. He's one of the leaders in that practice. If you did want to know more about it, you can connect with him if you'd like.
Yeah, Brett and I can set up a one-on-one that you can chat with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Thank you.
Anyone else?
We have plenty of time, so don't be shy, y'all. And you can always ask specific questions about the company, or if any of you still have general questions about accounting as a profession. There's never a bad time to ask those.
Yeah, and also, you know, if you are too shy to ask as well, you know, you have our emails here. Brett, definitely feel free to send me an email. I'd love to get you connected for blockchain with Noah. And you know, anyone else, if you're interested in consulting or you know any other industries here today. I know we just have our audit and tax professionals here, but always happy to connect you with other professionals one-on-one. Yes, Brett.
Yeah, I just wanted to direct our attention to the chat. Someone's asking if there's if Armanino is accepting any applications for the summer 22 internship.
So unfortunately, in Southern California, we actually filled all of our positions for 2022 the end of last year. So now our opportunities are open for 2023. We actually just finished up our spring recruitment this last week. So definitely keep your eye open for opportunities in the fall. But unfortunately for 2022, in Southern California, we are all filled. I know they still have opportunities open up in the Bay Area if by chance you are interested in the Bay at all.
Speaking of internships and the like, how involved can interns get into sort of like the culture and especially maybe the community service aspect of Armanino?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have all the opportunities to do that. Especially if it's happening during the time that you are here. I think that more of them, it depends on the time of year when it's been. I've only been with a firm since the fall, so I know I did one in November when we did, I think it was not dollars for doers, but it was the grants committee day. Where we take the day off and we just focus on, so like for me, for instance, I wrote letters to an elderly facilities home, and it was like right before it was a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, I remember that, so it was in November. But you have all opportunities to get involved in it while you're here. If it's happening during your internship, you have any opportunity to get involved. Isaac, did you have a question as well?
Oh yeah, but have you finished answering the other question or?
Yeah, so as long as you're here and if there's opportunities going on there, you can be as involved as you want to be.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so my question is for Tan. So you mentioned before that you moved through various companies. So what specific reason did you join Armanino and what made you stay so far with the company?
I guess it differs from the firm, and what they offer there. I came from a little bit smaller firm that only did one industry. So I came to Armanino, and they're a little bit bigger, and they have great employee. They treat their employees well. They have good benefits. So it kind of got me here. Understayed. Made me stay for the 3 years that I've been here so far.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's take a minute or two here to quickly take a picture for our marketing people while we still have everyone. So Molly, if you could stop sharing your screen for a moment, that'd be great. Yep. And everyone else, cameras on, and then we'll go to Selena's question. So let's appease the marketing gods, and then we'll get back right into the Q&A.
Yeah, I'll be doing a 3-second countdown. So 3, 2, 1. I got it. All right. Thank you.
All right. And then Selena asked for the associates specifically if they have specialized in an industry and why they chose that industry.
For me, last year it was something new that they started doing the pool, which all first year staff get to work with everybody, and it's different offices, different team. And for me, I actually just got picked to join the corporate team, so that's what I'm specializing in, I guess. And yeah, that's how I got in. What about you, Jonathan?
Well, when I started, it was different. There was no pool. But I kind of worked with everyone and tried all the different tax returns, like partnerships, C corps, S corps, individuals, like a little bit of everything. And then almost like towards the tail end of my first year, I realized that I enjoyed working on partnerships mostly, and then real estate specifically is very, very partnership heavy. So that kind of like steered me there. And also I don't know, the people, the team, I worked well with them. I enjoyed it. And then also another appealing factor about me wanting to join real estate was Harvey Bookstein was leading the practice. And then I went to CSUN, so that was like a big, like it would be pretty cool to work under Harvey.
That's a fun story. All right. We'll do, in essence, last call for questions, y'all. It's sunny outside. You can't blame the rain anymore. Let's see.
Sunny now? Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
That's great.
it's literally blue skies outside my window when 30 minutes ago it was like pouring. So
Yeah,
the
the
joys
Jackson
of
was pretty bad.
California weather.
Yeah.
We can't complain too much. It's a lot better than the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Mm.
We'll wait for 1 more minute, and then we can wrap this meeting up with some announcements, and we go from there.
And obviously, thank you to all the Armanino employees for showing up and taking time out of busy season. Oh, question? Go, Rashad.
Hi, I have a question about how you decide between tax and audit. Like, I'm always confused, which one would be perfect for me. So as a beginner, what would be your suggestions to decide which one would be great?
I mean, I can go first, but honestly, I was in the same boat as you when I was at CSUN. I had no idea like what I still don't even know what audit really does. But the reason why I chose tax is because I just thought it would be better for me in the long run, and it would help me prepare my own tax returns, and it um it helps me prepare my own personal stuff, and learning how and applying that to myself, and also helping my family and friends if they have questions.
Great. But if you go with the tax and you decide you don't like it, you want to switch to audit, how you do that? Is there a way to do that? Or
Yes, we have an internal mobility where you can apply for it, and then basically go through the process if there's an opening, which typically, we would rather see you happy here at Armanino than lose you to another firm. So you still have to go through that process of interviewing and then get switched over to another department. But Z, I don't know if you want to touch on, if you ever came to that point, or if you knew audit all along, or maybe touch on a little bit more about what audit does as well.
Sure. For me, I think it was just audit all along. I never had huge interest in tax, but I think, what'd be good for you is maybe use this time to take on some internships and kind of find out what you like and what you don't like. Just some high level differences. The tax folks usually stay in the office and we're usually at the clients. So there's a lot more traveling involved as far as audit goes. The day-to-days might be a little different. We're not really filing a return or anything like that. We're kind of giving assurance. So we're more looking at like invoices and bank statements, and our deliverable is more of a financial statement rather than a report. Or so I think it's really what you like doing day to day and the ultimate goal. But use your time, while you're in school to go and take as much internships as possible so you can figure it out early.
Yeah, like at this very moment, I have no idea about audit and not much about tax, so I'm always confused. I think you have a program called Summer Leadership Program that people can go and try 2 summer to try out. So this 2 summer, you can try first summer for the tax audit and second one the other one, or both has to be like the same kind of things, like audit or tax or tax.
It's going in and out a little bit, but I believe you're asking about our summer leadership program.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, so that's this May. And basically, what happens in our SLP, it's May 23rd through 25th. And it's an opportunity for you to come and learn all about Armanino, and hopefully you'll get, a clearer answer of which industry you want to specialize in. Whether that be, or which service line, not industry, whether that be audit or tax. So you are going to get to meet with a lot of our professionals, a lot of our partners, as well as other colleagues. And you are going to, again, hopefully by the end of that, our hope is that you understand which route you want to take. And then from there, if all goes well on both ends, then you would be invited to apply for an internship with us.
Definitely will help. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome. And Angel had a question for tax, I believe. So what type of returns do you do or mainly focus on? Do you get a good mixture of different types?
For me, I get mixture of different types. I do individuals, partnerships, corporates, S corps. I just don't do trust, but I do. Yeah, we do get a good mixture of different types of return, and you get to learn each one, which is great.
Yeah, like me, I do mostly partnerships since I'm in real estate, but I do some corporate work. So I would say since I specialize in real estate, I'm about 70 to 75% partnerships, and then 20 to 25% C corps and S corporations, and then a handful of individuals. And the individuals that I do are the individuals that own the corporations or the S corps and the partnerships.
Great, thank you both for sharing. Are there days where it isn't enough work to complete or lasts for the entire day? If so, how do you spend time during those days? Are you allowed to study for the CPA exam during off hours?
I think the only time where there's not enough work or no work is like after 10:15. You literally don't do anything. I mean, there's some work, but just not a lot. And during summer, it could get busy, but not as busy. And you are allowed to study for the CPA exam during your hours off. But in my team, my managers like encourages us to take vacation when it's not tax season, just so we feel more refreshed and better better and work harder for tax season.
Makes sense. Angel, hopefully that helped answer your questions. Perfect. Anyone else?
This will be last call, just in case if there's any other questions in this minute. If so, I'll just end it with announcements and then we can go from there.
How long are you allowed to take a vacation for?
I don't know. I guess it depends on your team, but technically Armanino has unlimited PTO, which is awesome. And for I think with our team is that as long as we don't clash vacation times with other staff, as long as there's a staff working, then you should be okay. And but I don't know. I guess it depends on each team. I'm not sure about Jonathan or Z's team.
Pretty much when it's not busy season, which is pretty much after from like 4:15 all the way to like maybe like the end of July, and then from 10:15 all the way up until like early January, you can, as long as you communicate with your team, you can take, you can take PTO, take whatever time you need. Obviously not excessive amounts, but as long as you don't have anything due, you're free to pretty much take PTO, at your own leisure. They don't really restrict you in any way.
Yeah, it's usually the same with audit. As long as you let them know well ahead of time and you're not scheduled on a week that they need something issued, I think you should be okay.
Always a good question. Have there ever been multiple days in a row where you sign off for the day early?
Yeah, when it's not tax season. That's it though.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not tax season, and there isn't much to do, you're a salary employee, so you're not hourly, you're not clocking in and out. So, and especially, if you're working from home for the day, as long as whatever comes up, you take care of it. You don't really have to, oh, I have to be at my desk until 5 p.m. today. It kind of is really, really situational depending on your team and what you have going on.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna sign up, I mean, might as well just, oh, I'm gonna take PTO for the rest of the day, if there's nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah, and if I have like any personal appointments, then, I put it on my calendar just so if anybody's looking for me, they know I'm gone. And I also, if there's something big, then I communicate with my managers and let them know, hey, I'm gonna take a half day, I gotta do something, and they're pretty much understanding. And breaks? How often do you take 10 to 15-minute breaks during busy season? Do you work the entire time for hours straight? So it all depends for everyone. Again, you're in your salary, so you don't really need to do 10 to 15-minute break. But for me, I take breaks by walking my dogs and sometimes cooking and running errands. And those are my break time, I guess. Um, Other than that, I think that's it though.
I take a 10 to 15-minute break after every task, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess that
It,
works.
it just, everyone's different. Everyone's different. As long as you get your work done, if you need a break, you just take a break. I mean, I don't know how many people can work for 8, 9, 10 hours straight without taking a break.
Some sort of break, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to take breaks like every 4 hours or something because like my mind just gets too overwhelmed and I need to go for a walk or have a snack or just do something really quick just to keep my mind off of tax, and then I go back to it.
Selena asked, when working from home, do you get distracted easily? What do you do to stay focused on your work?
For me, I honestly get more distracted working in the office. Only because like we only go to the office twice a week, and when you see your coworkers, all you want to do is like chat with them sometimes. And then being in the culture committee, we have events every like during tax season and non-tax season. So I help me and Jonathan kind of like help prepare those as well. So for me working at home, the only distractions I get are my dogs, but pretty much they're good.
Yeah, I
And
think a lot of people too have, come accustomed to, we had to work in this virtual world, so getting used to doing that, right?
yeah.
But I would agree, going into an office now, that seems to be more distracting sometimes, of chatting with your colleagues.
Yeah. And plus like driving to work, um it just takes so much time.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. So I get distracted more at home than I do when I go into the office. So I try and go into the office mostly. But when I'm at home, I know I've learned to like realize that I'm pretty productive early in the morning and late at night. So that's when I try to do like my focus time, like in the morning, just just try and get like a good chunk of work done. And then night, like after busy season. And I have a son, after I put him to sleep, that's when I do like a good chunk of work. There's no distractions. It's quiet, it's dark, people can leave me alone.
Yes. Anyone else? Any final questions?
I have one, if I may.
Okay.
Okay,
Go
I have
ahead.
a question for Charry and Jonathan. I heard so much about the busy season. Was it like scary? So how was it for you in your first year, your experience with the busy season? Was it overwhelming, scary? What would be your suggestion?
Um so you're sorry, you were cutting in and out. So your question was how it was like our first year?
First year, busy season.
Oh, okay. So I say this to everybody, but the first 6 months is definitely overwhelming because you're learning a lot and a lot of new things. So, for me, it was hard, but it wasn't too bad because the managers and seniors didn't expect too much from me because they know I'm still learning. The second year, though, I have more work because I have a bit more experience now. So, first year is definitely easier, and I think you do get to learn a lot of things.
Jonathan, you?
I think it depends, it's case by case, because while I was going to school, I was already used to working 40, 45 hours a week. So I was working and going to school. So the transition to, busy season it wasn't too crazy. It was more of like, I guess the hardest part was learning to work with multiple people as opposed to just having like one boss. You work with like 5, 6 different people your first year. I think that's probably the biggest challenge. But everyone's helpful. Everyone's willing to answer your questions, and it's not too bad.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Also, what's nice is even if people from like different teams will help you out, like when my managers or seniors are busy, I bug Jonathan and ask him for questions, even though he's not in my team, and he's very helpful. How does the review notes process work at your firm? So for us, we prepare the work paper and the return, and then when I have questions, I normally consolidate all my questions and send it to the senior, and then the senior reviews the return and the questions, and then you make updates, and then when the senior says okay, it's ready for the manager to review, then the manager will review, and then they will have their input and comments or questions, and then you and the senior can kind of work together on that, and then just till the return is finalized, and then we push it to the client.
And then every engagement is different. So some engagement is going to be like staff manager, and then that's, staff manager partner. Some is like staff senior manager partner. It depends, but you'll get a mixture of both. Sometimes you could even be just working directly with the partner too. Some projects are like that. It just depends what you end up with.
I think I can speak for it on an audit perspective again. Pretty similar to tax, the staff prepare the work papers, the seniors review all the work papers, and it's the senior who drafts the financial statements. After all the comments have been addressed by the staff, then the manager reviews the financial statements, then it goes to the partner for the final review.
Another question, roughly how long do you give yourself before asking a senior a question to elaborate on a review note? Do you like to compile your questions before asking? I think, Charry, you might have said that you like to compile them all at once, perhaps?
Yeah, well, for me, if it's something that I can't move forward, no longer than 10 to 15 minutes. For us, like, don't get stuck on something, just ask right away.
Right.
What's good about working remotely is I can just like ping the senior or the manager I'm working with, which helps a lot. But if it's like a lot of questions that I can move forward to, then I will consolidate all my questions and then just ask the senior. I mean, I'm sure with Jonathan it's different. He likes when you call him.
Yeah, I prefer a call over an email, but I would definitely say like compiling the questions is good because then it's more efficient. But sometimes, it just depends. Sometimes you might have a question that can affect a lot of things. So, you would use your judgment. Maybe you ask that question, like before you do everything else, just so you don't, if you get it wrong, you don't have to redo everything.
Any last thoughts, questions? Could professionals from Armanino please share your contact information? Yeah, let me go ahead and put up the, you might have not seen our final screen, but I will put this up for you again. Give me one brief moment so I can share this.
Feel free to like add me on LinkedIn and message me. I can answer any tax questions or about like professional stuff. I don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not going on.
And there's no other, if there's not any other questions, I think this is probably the best time to kind of wrap up this meeting. So yeah, we're just gonna keep a couple of minutes just for the contact info to be on the screen.
Yeah, it's, go here, sorry about that, but there you go as well.
All right. That being said, let me just wrap up with a couple of the announcements again, just for a recap, and then everyone can go on their way. So for this Wednesday at noon, there will be a meeting presented by Becker on the pathway to being a CPA. And also this Saturday, mini golf at Sherman Oaks Castle Park at 10:30 a.m. It will be first come, first serve. So if you're good at golf, join and just have fun. And that's all the announcements I have. And yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having us and have a great day.